So that's US 30, silver, silver futures, BTC, BTC futures, gold volatility index, GLD, US 100, so that's NAS 100, E-mini futures, Dow Jones, DXY. What do you see in common? Pop, pop, pop. Bitcoin pop, silver pop, US 30 pop, GC and gold pop. So this is basically cross-asset portfolio liquidity injection or portfolio reaction. Now, when you start to understand that the market is reacting inside a larger liquidity sort of flow environment, yeah, where we are witnessing cross-asset repricing at the same time. So when this pop happened at 12:30, yeah, multiple major assets, they moved simultaneously. We saw over here on silver for US 30, for example, yeah, cross assets repricing at the same time. For example, here as well, NAS 100 pop 12:30 exactly. Okay. Let's see if the reaction was also in some other current. Let's say for example GJ dead. The volatility dead. Let's look at indices and see if there was anything in SPX 500. Dead pop, very dead. Yeah, Nifty there was a pop. Don't need this. But yeah, I just wanted to show all of you that sometimes I'll flick through if I see a pop on gold, for example Asia last night. But when you see it usually around 12:31, yeah, you should, and obviously NYSE is open, so macro flow starts to hit the market, and then large positions are adjusted. It's always good to just go over multiple other asset classes to see, is gold the only one moving? Is there a larger sort of picture being built over here? And large positions could be adjusted when you see pop like this simultaneously across all asset classes. So most likely some larger liquidity event likely occurred, but we know from this, we know over here the upside breaches are pending. I'm going to keep this very simple. There's multiple layers. Obviously you got layer 1 individual charts, you got layer 2, which is this sessions, New York, Asia, London, and then layer 3 is when you've got cross asset flows, so gold, bonds. Let's look at some of the bonds and see if there's anything happening here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna just pick random bonds over here, yeah? See, bond market movement, perfect. Yep, makes sense. That makes sense. And then the layer 4, so you got 4 layers. Layer 1, as I mentioned, individual charts. So if I also just individual charts, layer 2, session interaction, layer 3, cross asset flow, layer 4, layer 4 is macro positioning, which we saw, which obviously I'll cover deeper and later on, the behind the scenes where markets are being hedged, risk on, risk off, liquidity. Sometimes you've got dealer positioning happening as well, which we can get an insight through the CVO. So far the CVO, where is it? If we look at New York Friday, New York has positioned itself as a blow-off squeeze. Asia is a followed by Asia, healthy trend, and then the current session. If I also refresh, let's have a look and let's see where we are headed to. This is gonna be interesting because London longs, okay, so London up so far. This is in Eastern time, so if I just pull up 3 a.m. 3 a.m. CVO sits at 29.89 top left. and then 29.89. Okay, yeah, I can see option dealers hedging themselves right now. When it gets choppy, yeah, option dealers are hedging. 29.89, market is at 28.74. So price is up overall. CVOT down, so healthy trend most likely. London session, and then we'll see what New York has to offer for us. Once you naturally start to flow into these layers, yeah, you can obviously, what's that word? You can start to synchronize yourself, okay, with the moves, and the timing wise as well. It becomes easier for you to get in, get out, stay in, and then you stop viewing gold as an isolated noise. Does that make sense, my friends? But yeah, apart from that, there's nothing else I wanted to cover. I wanted to just check in, do a quick 6-7 minute recording, and show you how cross asset, simultaneously are playing a part to the bigger picture. Apart from that, when you start understanding this and you start seeing this, you will obviously, move into recognizing reoccurring macro signatures. The bond market did a good job. Fair play. Fair play. Yep, I'm gonna leave it there. I'll check in later on. We are still waiting for upside breaches. The first high, breach one more breach pending. You have to always be flexible, yeah? Always be flexible. That does not mean that New York, there's space to the downside here. There's a lot of space here, yeah? That doesn't mean that New York cannot play around and start to create some sort of formal environment and condition before it starts to push higher into these unresolved inventory sort of areas. But yeah, cool. We're gonna hold this and just add more exposures once the market decides to reveal the truth. Yeah, that's all it is. It's all about market trying to reveal the truth, and the market does a good job at doing so. Fair play, my friends. I'm gonna leave it there.